Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time here, my name's Bree, and if it's not, welcome back. When I put out the question for what you guys wanted me to talk about in these episodes, the overwhelming response was for soil, and that made me super excited because I love soil. It fascinates me, all the different things that we can mix in and amend it with, and I love experimenting with different soil additives, and I love the smell of dirt and the feel of like a good rich soil. So the nerdy side of me was really excited to do this episode, and it's been a good break between the last one because I've actually just been diving into extra research about all of this, and I've enjoyed it a lot, but I have like 40 pages of notes in my notebook, so really got into this one for you guys. But what I have today, I'm gonna break it into like a series because it's a lot of information to just throw at you at once. So today I want to focus on why we need a good soil, and to visually show you the difference between that. And I want to give credit where it's due. I actually, on Kaylee Ellen's soil mixture video, she showed a clip of wet potting soil, and it sparked this idea of showing you the difference between all the different soils. So what I did is I put the same amount of drainage holes in all of them. I measured the amount of water so that they all got the same amount of water, and they've been sitting for about 30 minutes. And I wanted to show you the difference in, let alone the drainage water and the soil itself, and I'm going to dump it out so you can see the moisture level. It's pretty fascinating. Even my non-plant friend was like, oh, dang. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to put my glove on because it gets really dirty. So the first soil I'm going to show you is my mix that I make for succulents. And you can see right away, if I show you, this is a bagged succulent mix, the one labeled strictly for succulents and cacti, no amendments in it. This is my mix that I add my amendments to that soil. And you can see in the water how much the leach is out. And I'll get into this when I go into the videos about each specific ingredient, but what that means with retaining the nutrients in the soil and preventing decomposition. So you can actually visually see that, and you can see the difference in the water level as well, how much actually drained out of the one with the amendments versus how much was still held in the one that's listed for succulents and cacti. So first I'm going to dump out this cactus soil, and this is again the one I make for my cactus and succulents, and it came right out. It's very chunky still. My cute kids are home. You can say hello. That's my son. But this, you can see that it has the moisture in there, and it's retained in the ingredients, which is the difference in saturated soil, where it sits next to the roots and suffocates them, and that's what creates root rot and, soil-borne pathogens, like all the issues that can cause harm and illness in your plants. That's when this water pools around the roots, whereas these amendments wick it away and hold it in the soil so that it's available for the plant, but it's not suffocating the plant. So that's the difference when they say moist, well-draining soil versus like a saturated soil. So the water's still there, and you can see, it's not clumpy at all. It's completely gritty. It's hard to even pick up in a clump because it's, very free-flowing. And I forgot to show you on this cup, but on this one, which is actually for my aeroids, you can actually see that it has kept its structure. Do you see all those air pockets in there? So that's a big thing when you're looking for a soil that creates and helps aeration, and that's where you can see that there's still plenty of air in there so that your roots have great air circulation and oxygen that they can get, versus one that's not amended, and you can see how compact that is. And that's the succulent soil, so even less compact than our potting soil. So I just think that's amazing because that's, I mean, you can almost see through the cup. So you know that your plants are getting plenty of aeration with a good soil. So there's our cactus succulent mixture. And then this is my mixture for aeroids and tropicals, or just plants that need a little bit more moisture, like a calathea or a phytonia. I'll use this. And you can see it came out a little bit more clumped together, but still plenty of aeration. It's crumbly still, but it's got a lot of more moisture than the succulent mix contained in it. My dogs sound like they're gonna break down the door. So this is our aeroid. See how well it clumps and falls apart. So plenty of aeration in there, and a lot better. And you can see this is the most dramatic difference for me. Is I'm gonna show you this. So this is my mix for aeroids. This is potting soil. And one of the things with coco coir is that it doesn't biodegrade as quickly as soil, and you can visibly see the difference. So, and also the amount of water, where this drained out a lot more, and then that soil held on to more water in the actual soil. Okay, the next one is our cactus and succulent soil, straight from the bag. So it's listed as a soil for cacti and succulents. And you can see that it is really saturated, actually. This one surprised me when I did this. I expected it to be a lot better draining than it is, but it is, I mean, it's not crumbly like the other one for sure. It is very saturated. There is still pools of water in there, so it holds a lot more than I expected it to, because it is quite amended with pumice and perlite, and it's listed for succulent, so it should be better draining. But I mean, you can see that it's like soggy wet, which really did surprise me. So this is the cacti and succulent one, and again, the water is a lot darker than my cacti and succulent mix, and a lot less water, so it did retain a lot more. And our last one that we have is just the straight. It's just a generic, it's an organic mix, potting mix. And you can see it is very clumpy. There's not much aeration going on. It's pretty stuck together. Again, like the succulent soil, there's pooling water underneath it, and it's just pretty saturated as well. So, you know, this was really interesting to me to do this and to visibly see not only the difference in the soil when it came out, but the water as well. Because like I said, researching these ingredients, how it said coco coir is, you know, biodegrades a lot slower, and things like the charcoal and a few other ingredients that we'll talk about help retain the nutrients in the soil and keep them from leaching out, and you can visibly see it. So it's pretty cool. I was excited to share this experiment, and hopefully you guys can tell as well on camera as you can tell in person that it's, I mean, a visible difference between soils. So that's why it is important to use a good soil and to know what the amendments are that you can add and what they do, and how to amend what you're using at home to be better for your plants. And again, I want to throw out there that I'm not an expert on any of this, like by any stretch of that word. It's just something I'm passionate about. I really love researching this information. I love sharing this information. This is just what's worked great for me, and hopefully it will work great for you guys. But just know, I mean, everyone's different, everyone's environment's different. I'm not an expert, but I do hope that this series will give you guys some really good information to help you with your soil and your plants. And I'm really excited about the next episode I'm going to do is these mixes and what my ratios are and the ingredients I put in, And then I'm going to go into the specific ingredients themselves and why we use them. So thank you guys again for tuning in. If you have any questions, throw them at me. If there's anything that you want me to include in the series that I didn't mention, let me know. I'd be happy to do that too, and hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.